Day 1, curse mode. It's as dumb as it sounds. So dumb, in fact, that beating it made me a speedrunner. Scoutmaster Demi is officially 3rd place for curse mode percent. If you don't know, curse mode is ridiculous. This is a challenge mode for blueprints where you start each day with 13 steps, and each time you draft a color room, you lose the resource that it's associated with. So for example, drafting an orange hallway will make you lose a key. A green room will make you lose a gem. A purple bedroom will lose a step. A golden shop will lose a coin, and red rooms make you lose all of them at the same time. This is even funnier with the aquarium, which is already every color and a red room. So yeah, you do lose everything twice. May as well be Davy Jones' locker in there. And then of course, there's reaching room 46 in one day. I made guides for both curse mode and day 1 runs, so check those out if you're missing those trophies. Now, normally on day 1, your opening move is to draft the middle closet. You're looking for metal detectors, shovels, sledgehammer, silver key, and probably resetting anything else you find. But on curse day 1, the best opener is drafting hallway on the west. There's a few reasons for this. First, this gives you 2 paths heading west. That's crucial because you need garage. It's not negotiable. You're gonna draft tomb and you're gonna like it. The second reason you take an early hallway is because you won't have a key to lose. Remember, this is curse mode. So many common rooms give you keys like room, nook, sometimes closet. You don't want to leave them on the table because it's not likely you can afford the steps to return there and pick them up. Getting rid of hallway means that your resources are that much safer. And yes, you should also prioritize drafting an early corridor as well for the same reason. The key situation is frankly so awkward that one of their best uses is just busting them on treasure chests. Ideally, you'll get some gems or coins. Those are way safer than keys, and it also means that future hallways won't screw you. Speaking of keys, the single best way to win day 1 curse mode is through secret garden key. It's an effortless lever. It opens the west door when you're already on the west wing, and most importantly, it spreads fruit that you can eat as you backtrack. You'll have to enter the garage twice, the first time for keys and the second time when you have your pump room online. So secret garden is crucial to fueling this expedition when you start the day with 13 steps. You can find a secret garden key in treasure chests, but the most reliable way is through the billiards room. If you draft an early billiards room and you don't see secret garden key, 90% of the time you should reset. Believe me, resets are common. It took me 290 attempts to finally squeak out a victory. And if you think all of this is a very narrow strategy, you'd be right. Unlike day 1, where there's tons of ways to win, curse mode puts a huge damper on other tactics. What's truly scary are red rooms. You can avoid them for the most part, but if your day goes on too long, you'll inevitably have to draft them and lose a ton of resources, and you may as well call it a day. That's why, as exciting as the 40-step lab experiment is, it's still better overall to just make a beeline for room 46. The less rooms you draft, the more you can avoid red rooms. Speaking of step count, 13 is abysmal. You will need nursery. It doesn't have to be right this second, but it's beyond crucial. You can also get away with sleeping mask too, but in all my 290 day 1 curse runs, I probably had that item maybe 10 times total. Nursery is commonplace rarity, so you can somewhat rely on it, though it's a good idea to draft an early drawing room to help you re-roll for nursery, and while you're at it, you should hunt for utility closet too. Just remember to have some gems in your inventory. It's super crucial for pool, nursery, garage. Those are all extremely important. By the way, almost all of these strategies I'm telling you came from Blackened. He's the #1 glitchless speedrunner, not just for curse mode, but for day 1 and dare mode as well. Blackened's tactics are what allowed me to win at 290 attempts and not 1,000 plus. So check out his speedrun footage if you'd like to try your hand at that. So let's talk magical Christmas land. What is the ideal day 1 curse mode setup that you're looking for? Actually, I can show you magical Christmas land. This was my run 267 and it was perfect. We went west hallway. We got early corridor. We drafted den to get our gem and open up the east. We got utility closet. We got secret garden key in the billiards room. Early rank 3 pool that led to a nursery with a lucky rabbit's foot inside. And then look at this. A locked security door on rank 3. Wait, no! Are you serious? Freaking locked? No! Are you kidding? I have never in all of my years playing blueprints ever seen that. I genuinely don't think you could ask for a better start than this. It's possible I could have challenged Blackened's world record, but let me tell you, I don't have the discipline to go through another day 1 curse mode run. And if we're laughing about runs too, there was an infamous moment that happened at my run 100 of all numbers. It was a super solid run, and when I got to laboratory, I had a 40-step experiment. I was between opening chests or eating an apple. After some second thought, I went for apple because I hadn't drafted pantry yet, and I already busted my guaranteed treasure chest in the bedroom. And then as soon as I left the computer screen, I saw a freaking chest inside the lab itself. So yeah, check your surroundings or whatever. Geez, that was a super winnable run. But let's talk real sauce. My winning run was the 290th attempt. Funny enough, it came right after I promised a user named Amethyst Fire that I would not reset my runs until I genuinely died. I'm sure it was very boring for people to watch on Twitch and YouTube, but for the record, it's perfectly fine to aggressively reset. Day 1 curse is actually just that narrow, and even this run didn't really start off so promising. We did get the early corridor and a rare early wine cellar. That gave a ton of resources, but that also means no nursery or utility closet on the east side, which is a pretty big trade-off. But the billiard room did give a secret garden key, and that gave me a small jolt of confidence. I did freak out about not drafting the garage on rank 4, and though I was happy to eventually get that utility closet, this put a ton of pressure on me to find a T-shaped room to get that garage and also build out. Wouldn't you know it though, we got pool, which is absolutely the perfect room for this very situation. But considering I never managed a nursery, that meant we were only at 5 steps and I was starting to get desperate. We did find a nice pantry for some coins and an apple, and I was stoked to see a laboratory. Unfortunately, we did not get a 40-step experiment, but we did get bypass security doors, which is an effortless trigger. The real debate here was, do I spread dirt or do I add small chests? Spreading dirt could have turnips, which is crucial, but I did not have a shovel or really any reliable way to get one. On the other hand, I did already have a sledgehammer for chests, so maybe taking these resources after drafting a tomb could help, but that would count on me having my step game figured out, which didn't seem likely in this moment. After some debate, I took a risk and went for dirt. We then spent our last gem on a kitchen, and of course, the curse mode coin debuff actually mattered. I went from 8 coins to 7, and I could not afford a club sandwich. The bedroom going east means I'm so unlikely to enter the secret garden's west door, but it's also very tempting because there's a guaranteed chest in a bedroom on day 1. I have a sledgehammer and I have no gems. I ended up going for the gym, which wasn't that bad. I did lose a key, but because it's the gym, I'm very likely to see security doors inside of here. And yes, we actually got 2. We then immediately open a conference room on the east and in a fairly northern rank. That is massive because it means my secret garden fruit gets so much better, and actually the experimental dirt gets a little bit better too. I did have some really awkward options drafting to the west though, and this was a huge moment for me because my ivory dice are valuable. I only had 1 and it could help me lock down a tomb, but I did reroll and I ended up having to take another red room. This chapel fortunately only really lost me a key, as well as I guess 2 coins, 1 from the curse and 1 from entering it. Also, both of the doors here were locked. I spent my last key heading west, eager to use my secret garden key and annoyed that the door was unlocked. I love when that happens. West Wing Hall had no key to steal from me, thankfully, and we go for a dining room, which does help us solve our steps. At this point, I'm like, man, should I have gone for treasure chests in the lab experiment? Because straight up, 0 keys, 0 gems, and 0 coins is an awkward position to be in. We do draft our secret garden. The north is fortunately unlocked, and we get a sauna, which gives us a very clutch gem. I use this to open up my final unlocked door in the entire house. It's a walk-in closet that gives us 2 gems, some coins, and a lock pick. We draft an incredible locker room from there. Remember, we've already got the conference room sitting nearby, all pretty with its fruit and its dirt, and now with 5 keys and my lockpick. Somehow, I'm at 41 steps after eating all this fruit. I draft south and see office, where I totally freak out. Spreading coins to the conference room means I can buy out the commissary and I can have my kitchen steps completely sorted. But alas, I realized that I'm missing a gem for that. No! That's okay. We can go for a bedroom chest. This does give us even more money, and we've got 2 ivory dice. By the way, somehow I picked up a coin purse earlier, and it is doing massive work because I've gone from 0 coins now to 8. And now I've got a real moment of truth. I draft a workshop, and going north from there, my final draft is lavatory, observatory, and laundry room. I only have 1 precious gem. All of these options will steal that gem away, and I'm in the northeast corner, so there's no tea rooms in the deck. I have 2 ivory dice. Is this the time to re-roll for a pump room? I take my shot and I totally get there. At this point, I'm genuinely freaking out. And frankly, I spent way too much time draining the reservoir because I'm freaking out. And wouldn't you know it, even with my 1 dice, after backtracking all the way outside, I still managed to get an immediate tomb. The joy in my heart was indescribable. Now I could try to go for the 2nd place curse mode record. That's because there's only 2 rooms left that I have to draft. I've got a gem, I've got a dice, that's pretty safe, and plenty of keys as well. But after some chat discussion, we decide I cannot possibly continue playing day 1 curse mode. So let's play it real safe here. If we backtrack to the workshop and if we buy our shovel from the commissary, we can make a detector shovel. That means when I dig up the dirt spots in the conference room, there's a good chance that the detector shovel will spawn a silver key for ultra safeness. Funny enough, none of that mattered. I got no silver key. I wasted a whole bunch of time and steps. And the final moment of truth came down to the last 2 rooms. I spend my final gem on Boiler Room, which again wasted more time on my speed run, but whatever. I am able to power it on, and I'm kind of freaking out here because I've got dice, and I'm so likely with the boosted odds, and especially in the final topmost rank, to draft a dark room for the win, and we get there. Oh my gosh, we freaking did it! We freaking did it! Oh, we did it! At a staggering 31 minutes, Scoutmaster Demi secured 3rd place on curse mode percent, and it felt like the curse was truly lifted. It is a surreal feeling and a cathartic feeling seeing 4 trophies on your desk. Overall, would I recommend day 1 curse mode to anyone? Heck no! It feels like a glorified shiny hunt, and it is full of boring, half-baked runs and lows. My 290 attempts took about 25.5 hours, and it was just full of nonsense, but it is cool to say that I'm officially a speedrunner, even if there was a lot better stuff I could have done. And that's why I'm starting day 1 dare mode. If you'd like to watch me bang my head against a wall, consider joining our Discord and checking out our YouTube and Twitch streams. I'm Scoutmaster Demi. Thanks for caring for our community, and I'll see you around the camp.